everybody, this is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. This is our weekly live stream where we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And this week, I really want to talk about the new Google Play policies because so we got the email this morning, or last night, about the new Google Play policies. So I want to go over that a little bit today. And also, so I've been messing around with the green screen, right? I've been messing around with the green screen. I'm still in my flat. We're still in lockdown it's been nearly a month now in actual lockdown. But yeah, things are going well, just hanging around the house. As a software developer, not so much of a difference. So anyway, thank you very much for joining the live stream this week. And there's a lot been going on. So first Bart Rocca's here. Hey Bart, how's it going? Apavelli, hey, Small Business Revolution is a good show on Amazon. Oh, happy Friday. Small Business Revolution is a good show on Amazon Prime. So I haven't actually been doing that. Last night I started watching Devs because somebody. So I think who was it mentioned a couple weeks ago that Devs was good, and it came on BBC this week. So I started watching it last night, but I was kind of half watching it, and I need to go back in and watch it again because I don't think I was in the right frame of mind. I think I was still in the Silicon Valley frame of mind going into Devs, which was completely different and everything. And Charlie's here. Cool background, Eric. Yeah, thanks, Charlie. Trying something new. It's I've been sitting in my bedroom for ages. You guys hear me? First of all, you guys hear me okay? Sitting in my bedroom for ages, and I got tired of showing the blank wall. And normally I would be in my front room and other rooms around the house, but because I'm not isolating alone, I'm just sort of going off into another room and all that stuff. So same old kind of stuff, but love the animation. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Apavel, you mentioned Devs. Yeah, so I started watching Devs, and I think it was a little bit more heavier than I expected it to be. So I need to go back and watch some more of that. So anyway, so today I want to talk a little bit, start off today talking about the new Google Play policies, because if you're a Google Play developer or an Android developer like many of us are, you probably got the email last night. Let me just show my screen here. So we've got this email from Google Play which says, dear Google Play developer, I'm writing to let you know the recent update to our Google Play developer policy, yada, yada, yada. We've updated our deceptive behavior policy to emphasize functionality of deceptive apps. So basically talking about fake apps and the whatever the fake, with the change the faces, deep fake, that's the thing. We introduced manipulation policies, updated their malware policy. So when they tell you this stuff, they just say, we updated it, go check it. Try to remember what it said before and go back and check it. But luckily, TechCrunch put out a good article today to go through it, which was actually much more useful than going through the Google Play developer policies. Just talk about stuff like background location, how they're going to crack down a bit more on these apps that are tracking the background, all over the place, which is actually I'm cool with. Most of these things I'm pretty cool with. I mean, they talk about the fleeceware. So this is something I've noticed a lot. Just if you're going to do a subscription, to not just pop up that subscription all the time and make it look like you need that subscription to use the application. And again, it's one of these things where when I get developers ask me, like, what should I do for an in-app purchase? It really should be that the app is usable unless but it's the in-app purchase enhances it either by removing ads or doing something else. Right. And there was another one in here that I thought was really good. Deep fakes. So yeah, luckily for me, it didn't affect me a lot, but I want to see if it affects any of you guys out there on this kind of stuff. And so I've been playing around with the green screen, by the way. Let's get the elephant out of the room. I've been playing around with stuff, as you do when you're in lockdown, as you do when you're in quarantine. So, okay, so let's see, we've got the knowledge mixture. Hey man, start questioning. Okay, no technical questions in the knowledge mixture. Make sure that they're kind of more high level. Not that I'll try to answer the technical questions, but make sure that I want to answer things that I think will be useful to everybody who's joined us today. So and don't forget to smash that like button or the thumbs down button, which I always get like in the first minute. So I don't know who's showing up and thumbs down at me, but thanks. I'm just glad you care enough to do something. Let's see, we got Julio Cruz says, hi Eric, have you noticed any delays on the Google Play Store reviewing process? For the first time, it took several days for them to approve. It's been that way for a while. It's been that way for months. And if we did get, actually, this was AdMob support. Like last week, I got an email from AdMob support saying that their review process is going to be a bit delayed because of COVID-19 and all that stuff. I nearly didn't say it. I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube are not saying it because they get demonetized, but I don't get that monetized anyway. So it's oh, guess what? Last night we hit 30,000 subscribers. That was like, it's just inching towards that. So thank you so much. I think there's there we go. There we go. That's right. Thanks everybody for the 30,000 subscribers. So it's a slow climb, but and I know, and this week I've only done one. We did one video this week to talk about the appeal process and how to go through that. But just been very busy with client work lately. But yeah, so in terms of the reviewing process, yeah, Julio, it's just gotten a lot slower lately, and I think it's because of the heat they've taken. In fact, all of the changes with Google Play policies that came out yesterday were like, the heat that Android gets from this kind of stuff. It used to be Android was free and open. You could just do whatever you want, but and then people were scamming it. Do you remember we used to have those push notification ads that would happen? What was it called? Was it Air Push? I can't remember what it was called, but there were these ad networks where they would just, you install an application and you would just get push notification ads, which, luckily they don't do that anymore. But there's every time there's a loophole in the security or the policies, then people exploit it, and then the rest of us have to go through and update our apps again. Fist007 is there. Hey, Eric. Hey, everyone. Hey, let's go, Fist007. Happy Friday. There's a message on the Google Play. There's a message on Google Console stating that there could be delays due to COVID-19. Dude, there are delays to everything for COVID-19. It seems like everything. See, because I moved out and I'm trying, and changed bank accounts and all this kind of stuff. I've been trying to get all kinds of stuff sorted and calling around to places, and they're like, oh, they're working from home. They can't do all that kind of stuff. So, you look a little too bright, I think. I'm just pale. I'm pale because I've had no sunshine. But thanks. Okay, say now every Friday I'm in doubt. I don't know to watch Steve P. Young's or Eric Wroolie's live. These are two guys that rock. Thanks. Steve P. Young is the only person that I've ever interviewed on this channel. So I like Steve. I don't know why Steve is doing his at the exact same time as mine. I've been doing this for like 3 years at this time. But I don't know yet. But yeah, so I hope it doesn't, because if we did it at different times, he could be on this one. That would be great. But oh well. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why that is. I don't know. I hope it's not personal. I hope it's not like a reason but anyway. Leandro Damasco. Hey, Leandro, how's it going? Oh, so, yep. So Julio says, oh, maybe Eric needs to go out and get some sun. That's true. I do. I went out for a walk. I did go for a walk yesterday, but I haven't got a whole lot of sun. Nobody has. Actually, no, that's not true. A lot of people have because they have gardens, right? I don't have a garden. I don't have a backyard that I could go sit in. I just have an apartment. Like I get sun if I look out the window for a long time. So my cool bachelor pad apartment, which looks so awesome, and I still really like it. Yeah, but it's got some drawbacks. Let's see. The webcam is overexposed. Do you think it's overexposed? Let me see if I might be able to change that. Let's see if I do that. How do I do the exposure? Sorry, let me just that's way overexposed. I think I might have it on. There we go. That might be a bit better. Is that better? James, hey James, how's it going? Sophia, hello Sophia, how are you? Yo, fellow convict. Sophia, where are you located? Are you in isolation too? It's strange because I think everybody is in isolation. I've been talking to quite a few people on on dating sites. I guess I've been doing the online date. This is one of the things I'm doing to pass the time, and it seems like no matter who you talk to, they're in isolation of some sort. Some of them worse than others. Some people can't go outside at all. Some of us, like here in the UK, we can go out for one walk a day, or we can go do some shopping. But I tell you, I've been going shopping, and it's like it's a little bit more stressful because some people, I think we're getting to the point now where people are they're starting to lose their patience with it, and they're just encroaching in on your space again. They're just sort of moving in a little bit. So it's like I find myself for no reason at all holding my breath when I go into the store, and I don't go to the big shop and everything. But anyway, so yo, how's isolation? Looks like the clubbing plans are still on hold. I guess Tinder with the Zoom calls not a good idea. Um, yeah, it's kind of, it's weird. You do these, because you have the whole catfishing thing. You have the whole catfishing thing. So yeah, you don't know who's a real person, who's not a real person. You don't want to be like that. So, but I've had some, it's been not too bad. But yeah, I can't wait to go outside. I do want to go clubbing. I want to go, like now I could go clubbing, and I can't go clubbing. I'm sure it'll probably be a while, right? Unless we all go clubbing with masks on, which would still be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, in the UK we don't really do the whole mask thing, but yeah, thanks for asking. Maran Deer, hey appers, appers. Is that what we're gonna call each other? Appers, snappers. Um, Charlie, hey, congratulations, man. Yeah, 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, no, it's good. But I've seen other people. We should get Rezocoder. I wonder if Rezocoder is going to join us today. Rezocoder went from like 0 to like, shoo, like he doesn't he's too big for us now. Chris Balalal, no one was wearing headphones. What? Did I miss something? Let's see. So, yeah, congrats for the 30,000 subs. I understand it. You have a paid / mentor / advisor. Is it worth it? This is a good question. So I did videos before where I talked about having a coach. I don't think he watches this channel, but I don't think he watches the live streams or the channel really. So I think this is a safe space. This is a safe space for us to talk. It depends. Like I think one of the reasons why I got I went to like a mentorship group at first, this mentor group, and I think it was mainly because I wanted to get more confident about the business side. And so it was a group of not developers. It was a group of business owners. And what really helped about, and we still keep in touch via WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. So I still keep in touch with this group, and it's nice to know other people who have the same kind of concerns about hiring people. They've, everyone's at different stages of their businesses, so they have concerns about hiring people. They have, the marketing, getting out there marketing. A lot of them are local. And so they have different things than I do. Mine is not so much a local business because I don't really have any local clients. I mean, I do like driving distance, but I have overseas clients too. And so it was helpful there, but then a lot of times it gets to the, when you're really busy, you have to get something done, and you have that, the person pushing you to accomplish more. It gets to a point where you're like, God, I need to, I just need to get on with it. I need to get some stuff done. I can't, I can't focus on too many things, and just having the consultation, for, it takes time out of the week. But, so it depends. I think for me, the big part for me was just the lack of self-confidence to be able to do the kind of things that I wanted to do. Because it was still that imposter syndrome. It was that feeling like a fraud going into meetings and meeting with clients or prospects and just feeling like I don't belong there. I don't belong here. They all know what they're doing. Or I could do the software. Like the development side of things was easy. Like, it's not. It's I know how to do it. Like you put me, if we talk about the problems they have and the solutions that they need, I could put together the architectural solution. We could put some wireframes together. We could talk about, and I could even code it myself if necessary. Although ideally that's not me coding it; it'd be somebody else doing it. But it was more just the business side of things, just going in there and feeling like I didn't belong there. And then after a while, that sort of that went away. The more client meetings I had, the more sales meetings I had, the better I got at it, and it became yeah, it just became much easier. Like I go in there. This is the thing, and you got some of you guys who do work for clients, or you might work for clients in the future. You might find this too, and maybe it's just me, but that imposter syndrome. You're going in there, you're feeling like I could do the code, like I'm good on the technical side, but the whole schmoozing and doing the meeting things, that may not be so confident with. But then you have to remember that they're not looking for a salesperson. They're not looking for a business person. They're looking for just, they're looking for a developer, which is what, you are, or they're looking for the service that you can provide, right, in your expertise. So I do find it helps. I do find it helps a bit, but then it's also expensive, James. So it's expensive, and then when you have to cut costs, then that's the first thing to go. So I do worry, and I worry about business coaches and those kind of professions. Although any one of them will tell you, hey, we're needed now more than ever with all this stuff going on. But everybody says that. I could say people need apps more than ever, now that all this stuff is going on, which in some ways is true, but it's also, it's well, anyway. Oh, I think one of the things that I'm getting tired of is seeing a lot of people online. A lot of people online taking advantage of the pandemic by talking about why you should be doing this. You should be doing in this time of crisis, you do need an advisor, even though nobody's ever been through this before. So ideally, a mentor / advisor is somebody who's already done it before, or maybe even if they haven't already done it before, but they could, they're looking at it from externally, and they could, look at things in ways that you can't because you're in it. And my coach and advisor has helped me a lot. I mean, I'm not, it's so they have. Where to find cheap traffic? Well, the cheapest traffic is the organically grown. So like if you could actually get traffic through social media, that's cheap traffic. No, the problem is getting eyeballs on it. But if you can't get in front of all the people you need to that way, like without spending any money, then you do have to go through ads. And then it goes through, like I said this before, AdSense, I think, is the cheapest traffic you can do, because you do like 1 or 2 cents per click and just keep going lower and lower. And if you're going to do cheap traffic, now's the time to do it, because advertisers aren't spending, and anybody who makes money from ads will tell you how our RPMs are lower. Let's see. Of course, Eric Wroolie live dude, of course. Thanks. Thank you very much. Potionware. Oh, we're going to look at your app again? I put up a new video on my Scarlet News app. All right, let's take a look. All right, let's have a look at Potionware's Scarlet News app. I hope you don't mind. We looked at it last week, and the video wasn't working, but let's have a look at it today. So I'm going to show my desktop again. Scarlet News. Is it 2 T's? All right, so this is Scarlet News. We looked at it last year. So it's having somebody read the news from a dynamic source. I'm assuming it's a RSS feed. Can you guys hear this?
Rocks from the surface of Mars is taking shape. The first step in this interplanetary heist will come in July, when NASA launches it to roll around on the Martian surface.
She's kind of shifty, isn't she?
More on this story, press source.
I think I said this last week. Is there any way to make her smile? Or
the plan to steal rocks from the surface of Mars is taking shape. The first step in the...
Because I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm having nightmares about this news reading woman. She looks very much like, I am going to read you the news. But I mean, I don't know if that's what you're going for. But what the rest of you guys think? Let's please give Matthew your feedback there. Let's see. Oh, sorry, that was the Scarlet News app. Sorry, I forgot to do that. So I've got a 500 square meter backyard, and I never get out of the house. Really? I have no backyard. I mean, for me, it's the excitement is going down to check the post box down by the front door. But I still do. Like when everything goes back to normal, which I'm just probably like what, 2 weeks away. Could be like a year. Yeah. So it's the headphone comment was for you when you played the air horn and celebrated 3,000 subs. Oh yeah, sorry about that, Chris. I was playing around. See, Ecamm Live has got all these stuff in it, and I haven't really done it. It's a bit cheesy, I admit. Oh my god, this chair. So I've got this temporary setup where I move into the bedroom. I got this like little coffee table from the front room and this cheap chair, and so if I lean forward, if you see me doing that, it's not because I'm getting old, but it's because of that. So mentoring is a bit to get you accountable for the stuff you have to do in order to actually do it. Yes, exactly. So it was the accountability. It was more what it was. So the first group I joined was it was called Action Club here in the UK. And there's it's a franchisor all over the place. But so it was like and it was good. It was good. But I think that we had like reading assignments. But I found I'd read a lot of the books. Like the content of it was not as useful as actually having those other business owners in the group. That's what I got most from, because I could ask them questions, because the whole group was like, they wouldn't address they would never talk about any of the insecurities. They would just talk about, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that, and a lot of it was just, you could pick up any book and find out about it, but it was more talking to other people. Because like for example, if you had a physical trainer and says you should do sit-ups every day, right? We all know we should do sit-ups every day, or whatever it is. You should floss. You should do whatever. We all know it, but there's something that stops us from doing it. And when you meet other people who have those same blocks, then you learn more about how it goes, right? You'd think, somebody who's too afraid to put on an app would learn more from somebody who also says, look, I have those same fears. I know what it's like. I know what's concerning you. Whereas if you took advice from somebody who's like, I just put an app on, I don't understand it, then that's something that does it. And that's something that I found to be kind of a thing. Hi, the Overpass. I like the fact you said the Overpass. Maybe we should rebrand it. I'm from Kenya, Africa. What categories do you activate in the sensitive categories in AdMob? It depends on the application. So you like the gambling apps and stuff like that, you get paid more for them. But but it's also, I don't think I've touched that in years because they, because how weird they get with it. So like if you have an app that you're targeting like 13-year-olds, and then you mess up the sensitive app, like I think because you're setting the target audience, I think that should automatically set the AdMob stuff for you personally. But so I haven't touched that in years. But like but you get paid more for interstitials. You should always be considering interstitials. But if you do like the gambling and the whatever, I can't remember what they are. Was it gambling and gambling's the only sex and stuff like that. So, and I assume that it'll change per country. It's also helpful to get to where you want to be a bit faster than without a mentor. Yeah, I mean, but I think we put a little bit too much emphasis on mentors, just in general, because most of the people who are mentors can't really point to the mentors they had, right? Or some of them can and some of them can't. But it's a lot of times when somebody says you need to have a mentor, they're trying to sell you a mentorship program. It's in my I mean, maybe that's unfair to say, but I suppose I have I don't have so much have mentors as I have like heroes. I have people that I watch, and I don't really bombard them. Like I might not even contact them, but I might be like influenced by somebody, like this, but just my thoughts on it. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Okay, we're going to take it easy this time because, there's other people who have questions too. Please, somebody else ask a question. All right, so I have 7 main activities in my app. Oh my God. I want to add AdMob ads. I want just the banner ads for all activities. So tell me, should I create only one ad unit ID for activities or many for all activities or many for each. I would say you should create one activity, or sorry, one banner ad unit ID for each one, because even if you don't need to, you're going to get to a point where you may want to report on those things, like which one is doing better. And then if you have that granularity of different ad unit IDs in different places, then you can say, well, this nobody's even hitting that. Well, I mean, you could be able to get that from analytics, but you could say, you know, this ad unit's not making as much money. So like, let's give you a scenario here. Let's say you have one page where it just doesn't seem to have an RPM that's as high as the others. Maybe people aren't spending as much time on that. Maybe they're not spending as much time on that activity, and it's not rotating enough ads or something like that. You might want to try that one with Facebook or App11 or Amazon ads or something. So I think, but you know, even if they're all AdMob to begin with, you could change them later. Yes, one ad, but yeah, one ad unit ID should be enough. But you know, if you had more than one, you could. You know, it depends on what you want to do. Maybe Eric will tell us a bit more about that. You know, I try to hit every question, and I know at some point it's going to get unscalable. I mean, thanks, Fizz. You're welcome. Okay. Sophia is in Singapore. I see you in Singapore. I was talking to somebody in Singapore today, actually. And the situation here is tense. Yeah. I'll bet it's probably worse than here. Here, everybody's in pretty good spirits about it, even though they just announced yesterday that we're going to have at least 3 more weeks of lockdown. Business and employment hangs in the balance. It's a wait and see game, really. Yeah, I mean, it's all over. It's really strange. I mean, it's, and like I said, I have a contract at the moment, which I'm trying to do like a really good job on. They're saying, you're getting this done really fast. I'm like, dude, I think, you know, I'm like, every day I want to produce enough so they can see that I'm valuable to the company. So just in case, whatever. But it's one of those things where I think everybody who's lost their job so far, they probably didn't see it coming. I think a lot of them didn't see it coming. And a lot of us who still have jobs, we're still at risk, or contracts or whatever, we're still at risk. So so keeping those apps together and you know, spending the downtime revisiting some of those apps is really important. Okay, question number 2. I have a login form. I mean, I'm just taking a username and a city name when the user opens my app. So should I need to have a privacy policy to include? Explain it also when including the privacy policy. I would say so. Yeah, if you're getting the username and the city, I mean, yeah, I think you should, because you're collecting their data. Go for Game says hello. Hey, how's it going? Are you new here? I have some questions about my app's name. Should I go with generic app title? How can it affect my ranking? So, Go for Game. So, a generic app title might not. So you could go 2 ways with this. You could go with like a really good title or a really search efficient title. So like if you had something called you had a few, like if you think about the keywords you want people to find when they're searching for it, if that's in the title, it's going to make it a lot easier. So that's why, but it might not be so good. So let's say, to give an example, let's talk about a movie from my childhood, Rambo, right? Rambo, you know, it has a lot of marketing behind it. So you don't go to the cinema and think, what's Rambo? What's that all about? Because there's, you know, because the marketing's in place and everything to know what it is. But if they didn't have that marketing, it would be, you know, action hero guy or crazed Vietnam vet or something like that, right? Talking about like when you go to the store, I remember we had G.I. Joe, and then you'd have, you know, action hero guy, the generic one at the back, or the ones that would have it or whatever. So so that you know what it is, right? So you know they made some for like those in the know, like Tinder is an example. Tinder is not called Tinder the dating app, it's called Tinder because everybody knows what it is. Yeah. But other applications, they need to include the name in the title just so if you're searching for it, you know what it is. Again, going back to the toy analogy, there was, you know, during when you're a kid and you have the Star Wars, the toy lightsaber, and then you had another one, a competitor one called Space Sword, right? Your grandma is going to buy the Space Sword because your grandma doesn't know the difference between one lightsaber and another. and they'll get, oh, space sword, I'll get that. And but you, as somebody in the know, the whole brand and everything, then you're gonna get the lightsaber. But ultimately, you want the cool title, right? Because it sucks having a generic search friendly title. Does that help at all? I'm not sure if it does. So I would say when you're starting out, I would say have a when you say generic name, nobody should consider the name generic. But let's say you have your name and then the subtitle with the keywords in it. I think depending on how long that generic name is, other name. Now it's time for subscription. Was AdMob revenue is down. I think in general we should all be looking at increasing our in-app purchases and subscriptions. I mean, ad revenue is getting harder and harder the further we go down this route. I think I was reading something the other day where it said influencers are really hit hard by the pandemic, which you're like, yeah, boo hoo, right? But it's these businesses which go off ads only, which as app developers we're kind of that way too. We're not actually building something that people are paying for. That we're not doing something that's necessarily revenue producing. Whereas if you have an app and you could get people making purchases in it, and you get people actually upgrading and doing all this stuff, then you change the game. You're not just a passive selling ad revenue and something that's a cheap distraction. You're actually producing revenue within your application, and you're no longer reliant on those ad networks. So if you can do it, I mean, I agree with that completely. Eduardo Carreno says, what would be the best of coding program to learn in order to start app development? And we talk about this one a lot. If you only want to do Android, then I would go with, and I still think Flutter. I was doing some Flutter development today. I've been doing Xamarin throughout the rest of the week, and I know Fist007 talks about how great Xamarin is, but I still think Flutter is a lot nicer. That quick refresh time, being able to do to multiple platforms, and it's fun even to watch people live code Flutter applications, doing the GUI and everything like that. However, you could still do, if you're only going to do Android, you could go the what am I blanking? You got Java and my God, what's happening to me? I must have this thing. Why am I blanking on the name of the sub? All right, yeah, the other one, the new one. All right, I know you guys are all screaming it at me. But yeah, so Eduardo, what I would do, Edward, is I would start with Flutter, right? Because if you do that one, then you could go cross-platform, and cross-platform might not be that big a thing to you, but if you do an app that does take off, then you might want to go down that route. Do you have any opinions on computer game development? You talk about like non-app development. I don't really have any opinions on it at all. All I know is that on the App Store, competing on the App Store would be a lot easier than competing with some of the stuff that's on Switch or something like that. Let's see. Pushaware, it would have been a lot more interesting if you could tell your questions using your voice. Yes, I suppose so. I did not make her smile in case of bad news. That's actually a really good point. That's a good point, actually. Let's see. Darshana Manaj. I like your hello. I like your content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Liam, how's it going, Liam? Okay, let's see. Knowledge here. Can I create the admin side of an app in the same app and hide it, or should I make another app having an admin side? I think you should have one application, and I think you should make it dependent on the user ability. I've done it. It depends. Like, if you have a login and password, then I think you should have an admin credentials alongside it. Like, not having. So I've done it before where I've had like a hidden form, like you tap on the logo, 18 times really fast without a second in between, and then it will unlock like a special debug section just for for debugging it, like when you're testing stuff, and it makes it a lot easier to do that. But it's not the most secure thing, and then I would never put anything sensitive there, like access to everybody else's accounts or being able to upgrade or anything like that. But I think you But having two applications, and I have clients that say this all the time, they need to have two apps, one for the admins and one for them. And I think that just makes it more complicated. It weakens your ASO, weakens your marketing. You have two different things. It's complicated because people are downloading the wrong app, they're looking at the wrong one. And if you control it through the admin, like just make special menu options available based on their user ability, then that's the cleanest way to do it. And you only have one code base. Let's see. Darshana says, I really like your content. Did I just read that one? Thank you very much, Darshan. Darshana, I really appreciate it. Let's see. Speaking about voice commands. Okay, so and Mr. says, is it Mr. or MR? Which country should be targeted for apps campaign? It depends. So like if your campaign has actually produced revenue, I would go for the US. Yeah, primarily for the US. The US spends more than other countries do. If you want like cheap, like just traffic, just to get those downloads up and get the reviews up, get the ranking better, I would go India. I would go India and other countries where you can have the cheaper eCPM because there's less competition. I published color camera on the Play Store. Can you please give it feedback? Full name, color camera, change color of any object on the screen. Developer, the Indus developer. Okay, let's have a look at this. By the way, is anybody ill by the background yet? Or is it kind of, I'm getting used to this. This isn't so bad, except for the fact that I'm, as we already established, I'm very pale. Eric's very pale. Is everything okay with that man? All right, let's go. So it was color camera in this developer. Here we go. So again, what we talked about, like, should you have a generic name? This is like color camera, change color of any object on screen. Again, it does not roll off the tongue. It's not. It's but it's got all of the keywords in it. Change color. On screen, color camera. We got color spelled in two different ways. So I'm presuming I see the color with the U in it because I'm looking at EU UK, which is something we don't talk a lot about. Like a lot of times when I will release an app, I will just put the same description for ENGB and ENUS languages, but it's kind of thing where you think about what people will actually change. Oh, hey, this is cool. Change the color of any app on the screen. Let's have a look at the stats here. 100 plus installs. You've got a decent amount of. You got 21 downloads, which is a lot, but I think you need a video for this one. I mean, are you changing? Is this changing your shirt color each time? Is that actually done through the app? That's pretty cool. I think this would be cool for a video. I think just to show yourself doing it, because it's not entirely, and then also just putting some annotations in it. Change the color of any object on the screen, whatever. Yeah, everything it does, because people will be looking at that. So again, and it's whether or not they actually find that so the icon. We talk about the ASO. So you only have like 100 installs for a free application. Let's have a look at the. Actually, when was it released? Just a couple weeks ago. No, a couple of days ago. What am I doing? Color change. Change color. Let's go color change camera. So we're seeing a lot of, very similar looking icons on here. So you might do something where you can stand out a little bit more. If we have a look at it on App Annie, and again, it's so new, we probably don't have any very good stats on it yet. But what do the rest of you guys think? I mean, because to me that looks really cool. Like, okay, here's what we talk about being the two different types of marketing. You got interruption marketing, and you've got interruption advertising, and you've got um, you got interruption marketing, and you've got search marketing. Now, search marketing, if there's a lot of apps that do the exact same thing, then you might have a hard time actually standing out. Now, for me, I've never seen an app like that before because whatever, I'm Amish, or I just never have. I've never looked for one. I've never thought, hey, wouldn't it really be cool? So if I were to see something on like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad that showed that, like a video of actually that doing it, take it, change the color of anything on the screen, which would be great for fashion, be great for other stuff. And again, this might exist all over the place. This may be one of a million apps that do the exact same thing. But as I'd never seen it before, I would be ideal for interrupting, right? Doing something where you're doing it. And again, I talked about having my fake AirPods that I bought from an Instagram ad, because fake AirPods are everywhere. Every Chinese manufacturer has like all these knockoff ones, but they were selling it through Instagram ads, so I didn't know they existed. It shows it up to me, and I buy it from them because they were in the right place at the right time, and they were selling to somebody who wasn't actually searching for it. So even though people are talking about doing, even though people talk about search advertising is better because they're already looking for it, but if you could put your app in front of people who don't even know they need it yet, so they haven't even been looking for it, then that's the ideal situation. Morris Taylor, hey Morris, how's it going? It looks like Zen meditation training video. That's going to be the next thing. Remember, I was going to do alpha male videos, but now Zen meditation. Thank you very much, Morris. Can I make another AdMob account as the first one has been disabled? I don't know. I think it would be difficult. What I would do is appeal the first one. Try to keep the same one. Let's see. Darshana says, "Hey Eric, game dev or apps dev is best? Apps dev is better." I don't know. It depends on what you do. It depends on the market and what you're gonna do. I prefer app development. I mean, I've done some games, and it's fun doing games. But it's also, look at the different competitions you have. Like for me, like if I look at an app like again Tinder. Let's say I look at Tinder. I could do an app like that, right? I could do one that's maybe it might not be as scalable or whatever, although I could if I really tried it. But I could do a user interface like that easily, right? I could and modify it. But if I do a game, if I look at all the different games out there, I look at something like Flappy Birds or whatever's current. Yeah, a lot of those I could probably do too. Put the sprites in place, have the game loop, everything like that. But the competition is you'll also be competing with things that are really super advanced. Whereas as an app developer, I don't see a whole lot of interfaces out there where I think, God, I don't know how they did that. Because it's just buttons and forms and stuff. Hey Eric, hey Rohit, how's it going? When did you think we should start doing ASO? Should we do it after the launching or before? So you're not actually doing. You're actually ASO stands for App Store Optimization. So you're optimizing it to be found. So it's not something you actually do. It's just something like you keep going. So you should be looking at it. You should be going in with your best shot, like thinking it's okay. I think this is probably optimized for the App Store. You don't know because you don't have any data, but you can make those assumptions to begin with. So putting it out there, make sure your screenshots are good. Yeah, your screenshots are annotated. Your icon looks good. Your icon stands out from the others in the same search category. You got a few keywords in your title if you can, and then and then you put it out there, and then then you get data, right? Then you get data that you feed off of. But I mean, it should be something you'd be thinking about all the time, really. Using Firebase as the backend for the application, is there any limit? Yes, there is. I mean, how many users can use the app concurrently? There is a API calls per second limit, but it's pretty good. And I think it's really the limit that bothers me most is the download size limit. But yeah, there are definitely limits. I mean, well, there's no limit if you have loads of money. Oh, by the way, don't forget to smash that like button. And thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. 30,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Rohit says, hey, Eric, when do you... oh, sorry. Did we do that one already? Sorry, yeah. I'm going backwards. Colin! How can I forget Colin? all these videos, Kotlin, I think everybody says it. Talking of Sophia, my new favorite person in Singapore, says, talking of lightsabers, are you a fan of Colonel Steve Austin? Imagine the AI required for their fembots and the death probe. Steve Austin, what, astronaut? Am I thinking of the right Steve Austin, right? There's no new Steve Austin that I don't know about. We're talking about the $6 million man, right? It's a little bit before my time, but like just barely before my time. Like I was in school and people were talking about the Bionic Man or the $6 million man and the Bionic Woman, but it was like not like I was more Michael Knight, 18. Those are my guys. The Knowledge Picture says, question 5. Nowadays, I just receive $1 for 13,000 plus views on YouTube. So tell me about your revenue. And I don't want you to tell the exact figure. Just say it approximately. So my revenue on YouTube is it's like $200 a month or something. And there's I need, I don't do any sponsorships. I don't have a course. I don't have any of that other stuff that other YouTube people do. So I just, the YouTube channel does help me because it gets the word about Overpass out there. It gets occasionally we'll get clients this way, or and plus you just learn a lot. I mean, I can't remember the word Kotlin for some reason, but other stuff. Mohammed Hassan Wasim says, do you have any idea of my friend have an Android app? He has 5,500 active users. How much is he earning? Any estimation? Again, that's not enough information. Is he making money through ads? Is it through if it's ads, is it interstitials or banners? Which location is it in? Is he doing it through is he doing it, or does he doing in-app purchases? So just the number of active users, and also even if he is displaying ads, how many of them are visiting it each day? We're talking about 5,500 active users. Are they visiting it each day? Whatever. So there's lots there that there isn't. And every time somebody asks me a question about how much money will I make if I have 1,000 users, it's like there's just not enough information there, because you could have 1,000 users and make no money from it if you don't have any ads. And even if you do have ads, you can make very little from it. Having the admin panel on a separate app would double your code base and will make you build 2 different apps each time you want to add a new feature that is customizable through the admin panel. Yeah, and you have to deal with Apple doing 2 applications that are very similar to each other. And even Apple would say that you'd have to combine those 2 together, because the whole container app thing and the guideline 4.3 and everything. So I published Test Your Skills daily quiz on Play Store. Should you see it? I don't know. Should I? Red color icon. So test your skills daily quiz. Let's do that. Oh yeah. Let me change my. Let's see. Share my screen. Test yours. What did you just call it? Test your skills daily quiz. That's wait, am I not? Test your skills daily quiz app.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments. Colored trees, your yellow leaves move me. Dancing roofs, your paint.
Yeah. All right. Pay no attention to that. All right, where were we? For some reason, something weird happened to this thing. So, can you guys see me all right? Okay, so yeah, you have to let me know. Let me know which one it is. I'm not quite sure about that. And why did that? Wow, this so Ecamm Live is pretty buggy actually. Oh, here we go. Yeah, wow, I've lost all my scenes. So I actually can't show that for some reason. By the way, preferring to be alone may not be sending the right signals for a guy in your situation. Well, I mean, yeah, I told somebody that this week. So, yeah, I kind of prefer to be alone, which is probably not the best thing, but you know, I just did as a software. I've always been very introverted and that kind of stuff. The other side, other sites providing at. Is there other sites providing ad facility for Android apps? Yeah, there's loads. You got, yeah, you've got AppLovin. You've got Facebook Audience Network. Background is superb. Thank you very much. Wow, that animation. Yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget Airwolf. Airwolf. All right, Airwolf. Yeah, Stringfellow Hawk. Stringfellow Hawk. Dominic. Who else was that? Yeah, Jan Michael Vincent as Stringfellow Hawk. Never heard of it. This deserves a like just for the animation. Thank you very much. Smash that like button if you like the animation. Hey, if you don't like the animation, give me a thumbs down. I don't mind. Hey guys, let's force Eric to set up Amazon affiliates for the books he reads so that we can help him out. Yeah, oh yeah, that's another thing I read this week. Amazon is apparently reducing their affiliate rates for a lot of stuff. I mean, I've never done it. I mean, I keep setting up Amazon affiliates and I don't actually do them. So, it's, yeah, I've got to do that stuff. So, Michael Knight, poor David, but Kit was really great. Still a long way to go before we reach that level of AI. You know what? I thought I even watched the new Knight Rider when it came out in the, what is it? In the 2010s, or the in the noughties. But yeah, no, yeah, I thought, well, as a kid, I thought Michael Knight was the coolest. And you can't even watch those shows anymore without being like, God, this is so bad. But yeah, no, I mean, well, yeah, I would wear my shirt buttoned down to my navel with a hairy chest and a medallion. I mean, and a leather jacket if I had one. I do have one. But thanks, Sophia. Let's see. I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to show my screen anymore because I've got some sort of problem with Ecamm Live, which kind of sucks. Hey Eric, my second time in your live chat room. Hey, thanks Nick. Thanks for showing up. Do you still want to submit your apps? Do you still want to submit your apps to Navid App Store in China? I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, we might have to. Yeah, sorry about the. Yeah, this Ecamm Live, I don't know what happened. I pressed something and now I've lost all my scenes. So this is all I got anymore. So I can't even do the outro. We're just going to say goodbye. I'm just going to, goodbye. Instead of going that cool outro. Nature call? No, it wasn't a nature call. You know what? I'm not going to leave the live stream and go have a wee and then come back in. Search test skills you play and when there's a red ball. But yeah, I'm sorry. For some reason, this Ecamm software, which I thought was really good, is actually kind of not quite there yet. But everybody's using it. That theme tune was the best. It was. All right, let's talk about theme tunes, because this is one of the things I think. All right, this has nothing to do with apps, so you guys can get all angry if you want. But like, for some reason, I remember the theme tune to like almost every show of the '80s. It was like, well, you know, Knight Rider was the. You know, Knight Rider was easy because it was like, you know, the shadowy voyage of a lone figure, the world of a man who does not exist. And there was the A-Team and Airwolf and, God, even the ones like Simon and Simon and, God, just these shows. Like, I used to know, again, I don't watch TV very much anymore. And I'm not saying that in a snotty way. It's just like I watch a lot. I watch Netflix, you know. So it's just like TV just seems so inefficient these days, right? It's not that I'm above it. Oh, I just prefer to read. No, that's not that. It's just like I haven't really been able to get into anything really good. Even Devs last night. I was watching Devs and I just wasn't able to really get into it. It was just seemed a bit very dark. But what was the last? So right now I'm watching Better Call Saul, which is like. Better Call Saul and Picard, Star Trek Picard just ended, and it was like watching paint dry each week. It was like, oh, I hope something happens this week. But I don't know. What do you guys? So yeah, all that stuff. I could talk about TV. I could talk about 80s TV all day. We should do our new channel on that. We should just talk about that on our live stream. PHP and Laravel project says, nowadays, which framework do you use to develop mobile apps, Eric? So so for my own stuff, it's Flutter. So whenever we get a client project in, it's Flutter. But I'm doing a client project in Xamarin. So which is not like an endorsement for Xamarin. It's just like that fits in with their ecosystem as a .NET shop. So there's certain things that are like, hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty easy using Xamarin Forms, and other things are like, dude, this is really roundabout, complicated way of doing things. Question 6: is there any other sites providing app facility for Android apps? I think we answered that one already. But yeah, there's plenty. And poor Jan Michael Vincent left us last February. Did he? I didn't know he died. I didn't even get that news. So, all right, let's talk about the coolest people of your childhood, like actors, right? Because for me, David Hasselhoff was really cool. He's like, whatever. My favorite member of the A-Team was Face. Everybody's favorite member was Face. Let's see. Stringfellow Hawk was cool because it was a cool name. And a lot of cool names in the 80s. You had Axel Foley and Remington Steele and like a lot of really cool first names. Right? And but let's see. Charlie says, I prefer my own company too. There's just nothing wrong with being honest about that. It's never affected my dating life. People prefer honesty over perfection. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, when you go someplace, like for me, I love just going to a coffee shop and just sitting and just, not having someplace you need to be, or a bookstore, even better. Just not having someplace you need to be. You can just browse the books, just sit down, and nobody's saying, so what should we do now? I'm bored. What do you want to do? Whatever. And you're just on your own. In fact, when I went to Bratislava a few months ago, it was just nice just being, alone and all that kind of stuff. So, what's your advice about development or doing business with apps and games? My advice, I've had like 1,000 videos with advice about this kind of stuff, but yeah, that's a bit vague. Hey, Phil J's here. Hey, Phil, how's it going? Eric, I'm glad you see you're healthy this week and well this week. Yeah, I am healthier than I was. Yeah, a couple weeks ago I had had a cold and everything, and it may have been the virus, may not have been, but it was a bad cold. And I don't think it was a virus. It's one of those things where I can't think of how I would have got it, but I think there's probably an entire world of people who have it, who don't know, who can't track how they got it. So, but I hope there's an antibody test at some point. But yeah, I feel really good. Although, no, I'm limping right now because this is this guy here, right? So I found this really nice 7-mile run, which is kind of a stretch for me. And I've been running this 7 miles and I've been doing it maybe about once a week, right? And so it's nice. It's nice to do it. So I did it on Monday night, and then this week I thought, you know what? I need I'm not going to lose any weight this way. I'm going to do it, a few times a week. So I ran it on Wednesday night, or 2 nights ago, and I've been limping ever since. I think I pulled something in my leg. So other than that, though, I'm fine. But thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. Liam says, I'm thinking of starting a limited business to run my app I'm developing. I like separation and limited liability. How did you start yours? Get an accountant to do it? Yeah, I got an accountant to do it. Like, so I had to get an accountant anyway, and they set it all up for me. But I think you could do it for like $100 or something. It depends on the country. So if you're doing it in the UK, it's easier than doing it in the US. Because I know people who set up companies in the US, and man, they're like, we have to set up with the state, we have to set it up with federal, we have to do all this kind of stuff. And it was like, in the UK, it was fairly simple. I think it was, I think it's really simple. Are you thinking about making an app for the health sector, since the health industry is going to be the one industry that will thrive after this pandemic? I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not thinking about doing it because, I can't think of anything. I mean, it's something like that. I suppose it would be something where you would need the guidance of like health, like a health official to tell you what they actually need, right? Because I'm not familiar with that, right? I was like, I could guess, I could say, oh, you put the patient's name in there, whatever, but I don't really know, what they're lacking or anything like that. Although if you've been to the doctor in the UK, you see every so often they'll type into like a screen or whatever, and they got some VB6 application, some real old software on their computers and everything. Yeah, probably. I hope though. Hun, elbow cow solve webcam problem. Nah. Exactly. I was gonna say that exact same thing. I'm building one right now. Oh, are you? Oh, cool. Let's see. I need to check out Devs. I know it's on BBC. So if you're into Liam, if you're in the UK, it's on BBC. It came on like I think Wednesday night. I might watch it again tonight. To be honest with you, I was kind of like surfing on my iPad, kind of watching it. I had a glass of wine, so I wasn't like quite into it. And then I was like, I think I need to watch it again because it was like one of the. It's kind of show where everybody talks about, dude, it's really good. I watched it. I thought, I didn't think it was. I kind of didn't even finish watching to the end. I'm thinking, it's like, yeah, it's like it could be. So I need to get back into it. Let's see. I watch more YouTube than TV, mainly for learning. Yeah, me too. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Let's see. Sophia says, I'll be really impressed if you're familiar with Automan and WizKids. Automan with cursor and the 90-degree turns in his car. Yeah, I remember Automan. In fact, I have a friend who, so this is it. For me in school, so I grew up in the 80s, so I was in the comic books. In fact, I still have a box of comic books. I have Spider-Man number 252, which is the first issue that introduced the black suit Venom. Well, we didn't know it was Venom at the time, but it was the alien costume from Secret Wars. I used to have Secret Wars, the entire series, and it's so strange now to see all this stuff come out in cinema. It's become mainstream because before it was like this niche thing, and you were kind of like ostracized as the nerd for knowing this kind of stuff. So I'd hang out with my friend Ted, and he does a channel now, and I think he recently did one on Automan and Manimal and all that kind of stuff, which is dude, so those were some really bad shows. They were all, a lot of those shows were just ripoffs of the movie. So like Battlestar Galactica, the original one was like, it was such a Star Wars ripoff. But like the new Battlestar Galactica is much better. And Automan was like such a Tron thing. Manimal, I'm not sure about Manimal, and WizKids, I don't know WizKids. Phil J. All right, now we're talking. Let's talk about some TV shows. So Phil J. said, I like Picard, but it was painful to see how fat everyone got. I thought so too. I thought it seemed like they wasted that opportunity to really have that comeback. They were like it was so moody and dark, and it was like, just think we waited so long. We waited so long. I said, wow, it would be so great if they came back to the, not do a prequel, not do whatever, and they came back with it, and it's just like. And Picard was older in it, so it was like obviously everybody's older, but it was I thought the last episode was good, and I did enjoy watching it, but it just seemed like a lot of stuff was just they're trying to introduce you to characters that you may not necessarily want to see. When they had that episode with Riker and Troy, then it was like, oh yes, finally, and even Data was like was quite a bit pudgy for an android, but But yeah, I agree with you, Phil. But yeah, it was good. I mean, which one I watched Star Trek Discovery. I thought was difficult to start, but I like Star Trek Discovery, and season 2 I really liked Star Trek Discovery, but I liked it a lot more. Although it was very, it's like they're going. It's like the way Marvel movies go straight for. We're not even going to try to make this mainstream anymore. Like we're just going to go straight for the fans, right? That's what Marvel's why they're so good at it, right? Because they're going for the comic book nerds. They're going for the people who are like the diehards, and they say we're going to make it for them, and if everybody else likes it, cool, right? We're gonna so Thor's Thor's from a planet of gods, cool, we'll go with that. And he's a magic guy who a sorcerer. He's and we'll mix all these people in the same way they do in the comic books. They don't think twice about it because it works in the comics on the screen, and it's perfect. And I thought so. Star Trek Discovery. That was like everybody wants to see the mirror universe. We're gonna do the mirror universe. Everybody wants to see them on the Enterprise. We're gonna do the Enterprise. They're just going straight into what the fans do. But there'll probably be tribbles at some point too. Jasmine says greetings from Bosnia Herzegovina. Hey, greetings. First time saying hello. Oh, hello. How are you? How y'all doing? We're doing fine. I can't speak for everyone here, but I'm doing fine. I've been watching you for some time, Eric. Your videos are very helpful. Thank you for making them. Thanks, Jasmine. I really appreciate you saying so. PHP Larval says, another question. Do you make money from YouTube? I do, but not a lot. I make just from the ads at the beginning. So it's like $200 a month. So it's not, I mean, I've had millions of views. Like I've had millions of views, which is like humbling really. But I've done like over 1,000 videos. And so it's only like $200 a month. It's not like a huge money maker for me, but I'm not doing any sponsorship or affiliate things, which I really should do. It's just like setting it all up and also getting over myself to the fact where I can say, hey, this video is brought to you by Rice-A-Roni or whatever, and I just haven't got back to it. So explain Flutter and Xamarin languages compared to Java. So Java is a native language. Well, Java is the Java and Kotlin are native languages, so they're closer to the actual thing. Flutter and Xamarin are Flutter uses a different type of rendering where it's pretty consistent across multiple devices. Xamarin does more where it's a bit more like React Native, where it renders them as native objects. So you test on Android or an iPhone, it looks slightly different, even though you're using Xamarin Forms. And on Xamarin, you could do a version for Android, a version for iPhone, and have the same shared library. But Java, like if you're only doing Android and you only intend to do Android, then I would go with Java or Kotlin. In fact, I would go with Kotlin because I think that's how Google would want you to go for. For me, Bionic Man for the win. Really, Bionic Man? Sophia, from your picture here on your profile, you don't look old enough to know the Bionic Man. But yeah, I did see the the return of the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman, and all that stuff. And I did watch the new Bionic Woman that came out, I guess in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Yeah, I think it's cool. I'd love to hear your opinion. Which one is faster to build apps with? Not compilation and hot reload, actual features building. Xamarin or the WPA framework that you are working with? Forgot the name. WPA framework. So I think it's Xamarin's pretty fast, but it's got like a lot of stuff packaged in it. Like I'm still not quite sure if my package sizes are as small as they should be. When I do the compilation. But WPA framework. Why is that not? That's not. I've had a very bad flu around February. Put me in bed for 6 days straight. I had to go to the doctor and he gave me antibiotics. Well, maybe this is it. I think it's because we don't have the testing. Is that we don't really know whether or not we have it. That's all. That's See, when you're feeling ill, you think, God, I hope I don't have this thing. I hope I don't have it. Right? And then when you're over, you're like, I hope that was it. But let's see. Question 8. Do you hear about Google app indexing warning in Android Manifest? Android Manifest. Will you explain it? I'm not sure. App indexing warning. I'm not sure what that. No, I'm not sure what that is. Muhammad says we've had 5,500 active users with banner ads and no in-app purchases. But yeah, again, it's not so much the number of active users, because I have I think I have a few 100,000 active users, but I don't have that many impressions on like ad impressions. Julio says, I'm not very clear about Google or Apple handle the taxes. Let's say you are located in the UK and you sell your apps in the US or India. Where do you pay those taxes? Do you know? So for me, the Apple side of things, those are taken care of by Apple. I don't have so basically I'm just, they're doing all the sales. They do all that kind of stuff. They handle the taxes. I don't have to pay. I'm not paying taxes on the Apple stuff. I mean, I'm not. Okay, let's do the disclaimer. I'm not a tax person. I just know that my situation is Google Play is different. Google Play, I do have to do the VATMOS, which is VAT value added tax mini one-stop shop, right? So you have to do that for that. So because it's a digital good that you're selling. So for app purchases, I have to do that. So my accountant does that, and he divides everything up and does all the VAT payments that way. But it's easier for the thing. So Liam, Liam, you're in the UK. So yeah, it's easy to set up a company in the UK. At least it was when I did, which was 20. No, when did I do it? 2004. So yeah, 16 years ago. But I think it's probably easier now than it was before. Like it's not like you have to think about federal and local and all that stuff. You just have to think about national. Samson says, "Hi, can you please talk about the sensitive categories in AdMob?" Samson here from Kenya, Africa, just trying to get into developing Android applications. I think if you're in doubt, turn them off. So the sensitive categories is if your app is going towards 18 and over, I think you should probably turn those sensitive categories on. You'll get more money from them. There'll be more ad revenue, and AdMob should not be serving anything that's illegal for any specific place. So that's something you shouldn't have to worry about. But it all kind of goes with your target audience. If your target audience is lower than 18, then you need to think about what they should actually see. And you could also get, I think one of the things I had somebody complain in one of my comments in the early days that there was sexual activity in the ads, and I didn't have any of that stuff turned on. And I don't know if they were just trying to like comment spam me or comment, derail me or something like that. But yeah, I mean, what specifically do you want to know? Check my app. Don't worry about webcam. I'm hearing you. App names to test your skill. Player to win. I don't want to do it if other people can't see it, but I'll fix this for next week. I think I just need to do a restart. Good one, Phil J. Did I miss something? Did I miss Phil? You put me down. Let's see. Data now with extra storage. Oh, data. Oh yeah. Data. The actual. He was. He was pretty big for an Android. What's the price of that mic? Are you running out of questions? How much for that shirt? The mic is not a very expensive mic. I think it was like 20 quid or something. I have a snowball mic, which is attached to my desk in the other room, that stopped working for some reason on the live stream. So I got this one, and it seemed to do okay. Battlestar Galactica, but I was a fan of Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers, and his dogfights in the Thunder Fighters was way cool. So there's a channel out here, I think it's Forces TV on Freeview in the UK, where they'll show Battlestar Galactica. Oh, my favorite show of all time is Quantum Leap. Like if Quantum Leap's a show they don't have any Quantum Leap The Next Generation. They don't have any of that, but Quantum Leap was my favorite show of all time. And I wish they would bring that back. So if I'm channel surfing, sometimes you'll catch a Quantum Leap on, and I'll watch that every time. Theorizing that one could time travel in the course of his own lifetime. Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished. That was my favorite show, right? So, but Battlestar Galactica as a kid, I'm sorry, Buck Rogers as a kid, I did like that one. But it was like 2 seasons. The first season, it was like everything was all like, it looked like it was inside a kitchen. Everything was all white. But then the second season, they got that guy with the hawk, the feather wig and everything. That was pretty cool. I mean, and this again, it's so hard to watch. And also, Twiggy's voice just changed for no reason. But I did like Buck Rogers. And tell me about that. Each person's message you show on screen, is that super chat or what? So this is I'm using a software called Ecamm Live, which is kind of a lot of people are using it now. It's so much easier than doing the I used to use OBS for. So I've been doing this live stream for the last 3 years. So I've been doing it every Friday night for the last. I think it's been maybe over 3 years. But I've been using OBS mostly, and then the Ecamm Live. I discovered that it's like, oh, this is much nicer being able to see it. So you should get a Discord group. I've been told that before. We did a Facebook group, and I don't have I don't really spend much time in it. So I don't really promote it very much. But I've been told that we could do a Discord group. For YouTube revenue, you need to have both a lot of subscribers and a lot of views. Views won't always get you much, unfortunately. Well, if it's ads that are serving, I mean, you could have fewer subscribers. Are more of a that's more of a vanity metric, right? It's the I mean, I guess you have more subscribers, you know, it depends on how the algorithm works, but it's the views of the ads that actually do earn the revenue, right? You know, is there something here I don't understand? Because I've been to like, you know, when the channel was growing a lot faster, I got invited to YouTube events in London and everything like that, and it's and meet all these other YouTubers, and it was, you know, it was kind of cool, it's kind of fun. So you get to learn how, you know, to optimize your channel for the algorithm. That's when they suggested I do live streams, and it scared the hell out of me. I don't want to do live streams. You know, what if you guys ask a question I don't know, and you guys frequently ask questions I don't know. Could even have a TV show channel in it. We could have a TV show. Yeah, I do. I could talk about, you know, TV. I used to know what day of the week it was based on what was on TV, or like any day of the week. So it was like Monday night was I think I've talked about this before. Monday night. Actually, it was never everything good on Monday night. Tuesday night was Moonlighting. Wednesday night was Max Headroom. Thursday night was L.A. Law, and Friday night was Miami Vice. That was the every night. It was always on NBC too. No, Moonlighting was on ABC. Moonlighting also a favorite, but Quantum Leap, the best show ever. So it looks like we have 30 days before Google start to remove apps for no good reason from the Play Store. I just updated one of my apps to see if they flag an issue with it. Yeah, I mean, it's getting. Yeah, I mean, I gotta have a look at it. I'm getting apps just removed for, you know, for no reason. I think the algorithm is just going crazy. I want an exclusion. Morandir says, I want an exclusion to disable ad blocks on favorite YouTubers. Someone code that. Oh, that disables the ad block. Oh yeah, I suppose that's one thing. I mean, when ad block came out on mobile, a lot of people got upset about it, but it was more like for browser. And I guess on YouTube, I guess that's, you know, I don't really think about the ad revenue so much. In fact, a lot of times I'm tempted to just remove it, but I think, well, I'll keep it on there. But let's see. Did this live stream turn out to a Tinder session? No, man. But if it's a Tinder session, I gotta use my deep voice. I gotta put. No, it's not a Tinder session. Gotta use my deep voice, my charming voice. Oh my. It's not easy being Eric. Just kidding. Let's see. Do you use UML when designing your apps? Do you think it's necessary to learn UML? You know what, Julian? I once got a book on UML so I could learn UML, and it was almost like it was so complicated. UML was like if you're dealing with other people who are engineers, then yeah, maybe UML will help. But like every time I would try to do UML, nobody would get it because it was so rigid in the way that it worked. But I will do something similar. So I do a lot of flow charts. I usually use Lucid Chart, and really I just use the the oval, the Terminator, the off-page reference, the diamond for decision tree, the square for processes, you know, and then I'll have the different lines. So in terms of the flow of the application, and then also do an entity relationship diagram. So something that's just, it may not so much a database diagram, but just an entity relationship, so I can see, okay, how will this work? And that usually at the beginning of a project, that works out well, because especially if you have situations where we've had in the past, and we have a lot where you have scope creep that comes up, and then you can look at it, how expensive is this scope creep going to be? Do we have to change the underlying data model? And you know, even if the database hasn't been created, you're looking at, you know, how do you design the entity relationship? So it does all that stuff. So for me, I'm not really very rigid about, like, you know, this is the right object for this, is the wrong object for that, because I'm not dealing with, usually I'm communicating with developers. But if you're dealing with developers who use UML, then it makes sense. It's a bit like unit tests, right? If you're writing unit tests, it helps you as a developer. It helps your testing going forward. But if you hand it over to another developer who goes, I don't know how any of this stuff works, then you're just like, why am I even bothering? Or the same, but yeah. So I don't use. I mean, I use diagrams. I use entity relationship maps, but not in a very was it? I had a friend who used to say when we were doing Silverlight, he'd say, I'm sure the Ayatollah of Silverlight would disagree with doing it this way, but we need to do it because he was referring to me because I was like, no, that's not the way to do it. But he would call me the Ayatollah of whatever. And do fans of Faceman Burke Benedict played Lieutenant Starbucks in Battlestar Galactica a real player in that series? Yeah, I mean, he was like, Dirk Benedict was cool. Dirk Benedict, Starbuck and Faceman and nothing else. You were doing that. He did. I remember. Yeah, he's. I remember seeing him in TV movies and stuff. But yeah, yeah. Faceman was the coolest. I mean, as a kid, everybody wanted to be Faceman. In the playground. I mean, BA was, Mr. T was cool because he had a cartoon and everything. Hannibal was the old guy. Like, nobody ever said, dude, I want to be Hannibal. And everybody liked Murdoch because he was funny, but, he was never, but he was crazy and they had to bust him out of jail every single week. And he wasn't like crazy, like Rambo crazy. Like, that would have been interesting. Like, if he was just like, every so often he'd just snap and take his knife out and just, what'd you say, man? That would have been cool, but it wouldn't have been as family friendly. For the packet, Fistable 7 says, for the package size, try to build a release to actually see. Yeah, it is. It was still like 40 megs, and it wasn't a whole lot of assets in it. But I'll look into that a bit more. Let's see. I know you have. Was trying not to be rude. Oh, what was I? Oh, I haven't read bro. Oh, what? You guys are talking about something else. So Eric, what do you think of Apple search ads? Do you use Apple Ad Network for your apps? I did initially, and I didn't really get much use out of it. Right? Again, it's you're paying to be at the top of the search rankings for people who are already searching for your application. So it's good, but it's like I didn't see much benefit from it. But I've heard from other people who say how great they are. Again, it's one of those things. If somebody's trying to sell you something, then they'll say, you got to be using, I'm a Apple ad consultant and you got to be using this stuff. But when I used it, just set some stuff up, I didn't really find much use out of it. Let me know if you disagree with that. I mean, oh boy. Yes. Right. Why am I here, Al? Let's see. Vineeth Gopathan says, hey, Eric, can I get initial downloads for my game after I published it? Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what you mean. Yeah, you would only get initial downloads after you publish it. Is that what you mean? You know what? When Sophia do comment, you act like really super cool and answer Sophia's comment. Oh, I react all super cool. Hey, Sophia. There are other women who watch. There was look. That's all I have to say to you. Listen, Morandir says you can do live streams on Twitch to better monetize. They have bits and subs. It emotes us for us to spam. So yeah, I mean, but Twitch is more for gamers, right? I'm not really a gamer. TGIF, one of my favorites was In Living Color. You can do what you want to do in living color. Yeah, that was it. Were you already in the military? I was in the. I think it came out right before I joined the army. So that was what I talk about. I think it was. I remember a drill sergeant saying, because it was like Homie the Happy Clown. Homie, don't play that. That was his thing. So I remember the drill sergeant in basic training saying, "First platoon, don't play that." And everybody thought was funny. So obviously we'd seen a bit of it before we actually went in. But yeah, Living Color was funny. Let's see. If I change the title of my store listing, do I change the app's name in the manifest? You don't have to, but it'll be confusing. The app's name in the so you got the two titles. You got the title in the Play Store, and you actually got the title underneath the icon. So but if it's too different, like Apple will reject it if it's not the same. So Google, I don't know if Google will reject it or not. I don't think so. But I mean, it should be somewhat similar. So like your, so let's talk about, okay, let's say we're going to do an app about Quantum Leap because we're thinking about Quantum Leap now. Let's say I was going to do an app in the Play Store. I would call it Quantum Leap : time traveling app, right? But underneath the icon, it would just be called Quantum Leap. Although I wouldn't be calling that because of copyright infringement and all that stuff. But you know what I mean. You would be that stuff. So, Quantum Leap. Oh boy, a little bit of a ripoff from Voyagers. Voyagers. Oh, what was it? Voyagers. All right. So, all right. I am not getting all cool and whatever this episode. Voyagers. What was the guy's name? Phineas Fogg. It was Phineas Fogg or something, wasn't it? Right. And they had that thing, and the kid with the blonde hair or the curly hair. Yeah, I remember Voyagers. A bit of a ripoff from Voyagers. No, Quantum Leap was way better than Voyagers. Way better. Because it was like he was able to look at all these characters, and every week it was different, and you could see it from Sam's perspective and see other people's lives from Sam's perspective. So so sad it was canceled after Eric John Hexum shot himself. Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn cover-up. R.I.P. Phineas Fogg. That's right. Phineas Fogg is around the world in 80 days. I know things, right? I got knowledge up here that's just taken to space, which could be used to, like, better myself. I know all the lyrics to the Love Boat theme, by the way. And Beverly Hillbillies and all that stuff. I'm digging this deep voice, though. My deep voice. There's something. Have you ever been called ma'am on the phone? And then you have to make that decision. So, like, I think my voice is a little bit deeper than it used to be, but it's not really. I don't really have, like, a deep voice. So if you've ever been in this situation as a man, if you ever call you ma'am or miss on the phone, and you have to do that, kind of, it's just like it's not like an important call. You just think, do I just let it go or do I correct him? So yeah, sometimes I use my deep voice. Yeah, this is Eric Wroolie. I'm very upset about the whatever I've gotten. Kudos on your book time with me feature. You should get paid for your advice. Yeah, I do. We have I need to do, that was my one to do this week. I've done nothing, is we have like a book time with Eric page on the website. So if anybody does want to book like one-on-one time with me, they can, but it's a bit more expensive. And but that's why we do live stream, so that we get to answer whatever we want. Let's see. Liam says, never heard of Voyagers. I was young for Quantum Leap. Yeah, well, Quantum Leap was what, 1989? What, no, 88, 89. Yeah, it was through to like 92 or something. Last season, so in series, season 5, not so good because they try to get him to be Elvis and Lee Harvey Oswald and stuff. They try to increase the ratings, but yeah, loved it though. Best show ever. You guys, some people say Breaking Bad, The Wire. Nah, Quantum Leap. UML is by developers for developers. Non-devs are less likely to understand it. Yeah, a lot of this stuff when I do these diagrams, I'm doing it for not just for devs, but I'm doing it for clients. So it's like, it's if I can do something a little bit not so technical, something that the clients can look at and understand it too, then it's better. I mean, I suppose I could do more than one. Yeah, good luck trying to get requirements folk and testers to sign off on UML diagrams and use the case flows. Got to dumb it down. Yeah, I know you do. In fact, sometimes the flowcharts are even, flowcharts should be simple. Like a lot of times you're testing something and go, look, here's, you're checking the decision, too late. But I think flowchart for me is the closest I could get. So I guess you could do pseudocode. I've done pseudocode in the past. And pseudocode always goes from like pseudocode into real code just because of the habits of it. And then it goes back into pseudocode. Like you'll be like, you'll do like a proper if statement or a for loop, and then just write some text in there and go, then I check the database or whatever. Because if you do it like, you do this halfway stuff and then people start correcting you on it going, actually you needed a semicolon there. You're like, shut up. I'm just trying to say what to do. Let's see. Yeah, 100% agree. What's the average salary of an Android developer in a software house there, approximately? I have no idea. I couldn't even guess. Use UML Lite, like Photoshop. Hope there are no Iranians here, though. What does that mean? I haven't said anything insulting to anybody, have I? Let's see. Oh, or Balsamic. Does anyone use that? I still use Balsamic. I know all the shortcuts. I know there's other stuff. I know you got pro. It's also cheap because you buy it once and just use it, right? But recently, the Photoshop that I bought back in 2008, I think, stopped working on the new Mac builds because it's not 64-bit, so I had to get the new one, which is called wireframes. But yeah, I still use Balsamic, and again, it's just simple. I just want to put some, and it's difficult. Like you can't use it on games and stuff like that. And sometimes it can be a bit more difficult. But Eric does use Balsamic. But yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, I do use. Yeah, Leo, I do use Balsamic. Tom noticed too. So I did a video on it. I'm pretty sneaky. I see. You snapped it. What are you guys talking about? All right, let's see. Do you use app review sites to get initial downloads for your apps? No, I don't. Because it's I haven't seen very many of them. There used to be loads of them. But no, I don't. I think that's so questionable on the guidelines. I think that's the kind of thing that even if like they all say that they're legitimate, but you're incentivizing people to review your app by reviewing theirs, so it's not an actual thing. So dudes, I think it's time we stop acting like a bunch of kids. Me first. What are you guys talking about? Question number 9. I'm using ads from AdMob. So should I specify my app to AdMob that it's published in the Play Store or not necessary? I don't know if it's actually necessary. But I don't know because I know you could go in there and put the actual thing, but I don't know if there's a benefit to it. Or do you have to? I don't know. Maybe you do have to. What about this? Is it a game or is it real? We're talking war games? Is it war games? Is it a game or is it real? Is that what we're talking about, Sophia? Is it war games? I forgot to use my the voice when I talked to Sophia. You talking about? Are you talking about war games? Fist, haha. All right, see. All right, would you recommend me using Apple search ads or Facebook ads because I use Snapchat ads and I didn't see any good results with it. Also, I don't know why I'm getting Tom Cruise vibes with you. Tom Cruise. I would say it depends. So for Facebook, I would go Facebook ads if you're targeting so again, this goes from search ads and interruption ads. So like if you're in a really crowded space, well, I think you use either of them if you're in a really crowded space. But if you think you could put your ads in front of a certain group, a certain demographic, and they would be interested in it, then I would go Facebook ads. So like if it's for single mothers or whatever. If you're in a really crowded space and people are actively searching for it, like they already know it exists, then you could go with Apple search ads because it would hopefully show up at the top of the ranking. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to download it. So like again, we talk about if you have an ad that's for something that like I don't even know exists. Let's say the color changing app that we saw earlier. I don't even know it exists, right? And then you put that in front of me and then I'm like, hey, that looks interesting. I'm more likely to click on the link, go to that, rather than say, oh, let me look at all the competitors. Search ads, it puts you there, but you could still have all the competitors right there. And whereas if you have interruption ads, you're not even aware of the competitors. You're not going to go look for it. You're not going to think, oh yeah, okay, I know I need this app now, but let me see what else is available. You're less likely to do that. All right then. Good night, amigo. Stay safe and catch you soon. Good night, Sophia. And thanks for all the talk about the TV shows today. That was fun. Question last. I said I have 7 main activities. So tell me how many ads should I place? 1 ad per activity or what? I think it's more the ad units. I told the silver. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Didn't even think about that. Thanks, Fist77. Google uploaded their policies yesterday. Did you go through them and what did you have to say about them? We talked about that at the beginning of the live stream. For me, not a lot of it really affects me very much. So Um, but it's more to do with like the fake apps and malicious behavior policies, stuff like that. And I think and also it's because I don't have subscription out there yet, so it doesn't affect me too much. But yeah, we did talk about it at the beginning. War games, yeah, I told you it was war games. About sensitive categories on AdMob, do you have you have to disable video games if your app is for 13 years or and above? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's I think each sensitive category is probably a bit different. But make sure you don't have a conflict there. It's probably the biggest thing. I advertise my app on YouTube channel. It gets 2,000 downloads from that. So tell me, Play Store count these things? It's good to advertise it more on YouTube channel or not? I think it's more like how, depending on getting the actual revenue. So whatever gets the eyeballs to it. I think it's pizza time or whatever. Tonight it actually is pizza time. I mean, it's frozen oven pizza time, but yes. And then finally, regarding your Google video from a couple days ago, you almost need a team just to do ASO and manage a Google app promotion requirement and all the rigmarole. How do you even do that as a small shop? There is a lot to do. I think this goes back to having multiple applications or having just a few, right? And I have too many. Like there's some that are just like I have so many that I don't even like. It gets removed, and I think, is that even like I don't even know if it's earning enough money to even justify me going in and looking at it. So this is so if you have this one application, you can just dedicate all your ASO efforts to that. So and knowledge music. Ha! You are again in a hurry. I think I'm just getting hungry. Yeah, I'm not. If you guys have more questions, hit me. But I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go eat. I also because this live stream software just gonna have some issues. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys joining the live stream this week, and also thanks so much to everybody who's hit the like button. Thanks to everybody who's subscribed and pushes over the 30,000 mark. Yay! Thank you very much. And I only did one video this week. I'm gonna try to get a few more done this next week. But if you have any questions, you want to email them to me or whatever, or put them in the comments of other videos. It'd be really helpful. And car speed 3. What, am I talking too fast? Anyway, have a good weekend, everybody. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'm just gonna go straight to goodbye. See you guys later. Bye.